Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time. One of the best videos of all time.
Today we're going to be discussing the infamous Kanye versus Taylor feud that has gone back many years. We all remember that VMAs moment where Kanye interrupts Taylor's speech to express his own opinion. That was over a decade ago, but their story together continued over the years. That moment was the beginning of their feud, and it just gets worse from there with lots of exposure and recordings. So let's break down this very famous feud between two of the biggest artists in the world. I would like to mention that I am not making this video to instigate or express any bias toward any of the parties mentioned. I am not a fan of either of these individuals, and this video is only for entertainment purpose, and this is simply me reporting news about an old feud that is part of pop culture history, and I love learning and talking about pop culture. I will warn you guys to buckle up because this feud goes way back and it continues for a whole decade. So let's go back to the beginning. If you're familiar with pop culture, then you know that this event is one of the biggest moments in pop culture history. Kanye versus Taylor Swift was something unexpected that none of us saw coming. We all know Kanye is a very outspoken and opinionated person. It's become more apparent these days, but we didn't expect him to interrupt Taylor's moment to uplift Beyonce. Even Beyonce was shocked herself.
Yo, Taylor, I'm really happy for you. I'm gonna let you finish, but Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time. One of the best videos of all time.
Kanye was trying to uplift and defend his fellow friend Beyonce. This was when he was closer to B and Jay-Z back then, and it ended up overshadowing a moment that was meant for Taylor. In that moment, Taylor looked really shocked and didn't know what to do or say. I would probably have the same feeling if I was publicly humiliated like that in front of so many people. Take a look at this clip of her briefly speaking about how she felt awkward during that moment.
While you were accepting your award, Kanye West jumped on the stage
Taylor,
and he took your mic. What was going through your mind?
Well, I think my overall thought process went something like, wow, I can't believe I won. This is awesome. Don't trip and fall. I'm going to get to thank the fans. This is so cool. Oh, Kanye West is here. Cool haircut. Kanye West is here. Cool haircut. What are you doing there? And then, ouch, and then I guess I'm not going to get to thank the fans.
It was actually revealed that Beyonce and Taylor were crying backstage that night. In a moment where everyone was booing, Taylor thought it was directed towards her and not him. It must have been a pretty devastating experience to have your first big moment as a young artist at the age of only 19 taken away by one of the biggest artists in the music industry. Luckily, Beyonce was kind enough to give up her own speech so that Taylor could finish her moment.
I remember being 17 years old, up for my first MTV award with Destiny's Child, and it was one of the most exciting moments in my life. So I'd like for Taylor to come out and have her moment. Where are you?
The day after, Kanye publicly speaks about the incident and how bad he felt that it ruined Taylor's moment. He went on the Jay Leno show and took accountability, which was really decent of him to do.
I immediately knew in this situation that it was wrong and it wasn't a spectacle or just, it's actually someone's emotions, that I stepped on, and it was rude, period. And, I'd like to be able to apologize to her in person. And, I wanted to
The next day, Kanye directly apologizes to Taylor for his actions. She tells ABC Radio in an interview, "Kanye did call me and he was very sincere in his apology, and I accepted that apology. The support I got from other artists and from the fans and so many people sticking up for me, that's what got me to the place where I could accept that apology. I'm just very thankful that everyone showed me so much love." Seemed like things were getting better between the two artists, like they could finally bury the hatchet and have some respect for one another. However, their feud reignited in a short amount of time. In 2010, a year after the incident, Taylor wrote and released a song called Innocent that many people believed was for Kanye. The lyrics read, "It's okay, and life is a tough crowd, 32 and still growing up now. Who you are is not what you did, you're still an innocent." Many people believe that Taylor directed the message towards Kanye because he was 32 at the time the VMAs moment occurred. The song was rumored to be about him, especially because she performed it almost exactly a year after the incident happened, so it seemed very calculated. A couple years later, during an interview with the New York Times, Kanye admits that he has no regrets for what happened. In fact, he implied that he took back his apology that he gave to Taylor. He states, "I don't have one regret. If anyone's reading this waiting for some type of full-on flat apology for anything, they should just stop reading right now." He talks a little bit more about his apology in the interview and how it was a quote-unquote backhanded apology. If you guys want to see the full response, you can find it on the New York Times article. After this interview, it doesn't seem like Taylor has any response to Kanye's answer. There was no longer a feud between the two, it was just more of a respect thing. They eventually reunited at the 2015 Grammy Awards and took a picture together. Lots of people asked if they were going to collaborate together, but it looks like the two of them had no plans of being in the studio together. They weren't beefing, but they were cordial with one another. When asked about their friendship, Taylor tells Vanity Fair that neither one of them was ready to be each other's friend because of the respect aspect. "I feel like I wasn't ready to be friends with him until I felt like he had some sort of respect for me, and he wasn't ready to be friends with me until he had some sort of respect for me." She goes on to say that it was a good first step towards their developing friendship. Taylor wins another VMA award, and the speech that she delivered had the media going crazy because of the shade to Kanye. It was a pretty cool moment, almost like she was reclaiming her moment and using Kanye's famous quote to own it.
I met Kanye West 6 years ago at this show, actually. It seemed like everyone in the world knew about our infamous encounter at the VMAs. But something that you may not know is that Kanye West's album, College Dropout, was the very first album that my brother and I ever bought on iTunes when I was 12 years old. I have been a fan of his since I can remember because Kanye defines what it is to be a creative force in music, fashion, and, well, life. And so I guess I have to say to all the other winners tonight, I'm really happy for you. And I'm gonna let you finish. But Kanye West has had one of the greatest careers of all time.
Soon after, Kanye sent a bouquet of flowers to Taylor, and she posted this picture that went pretty viral. She includes in the caption #BFF, insinuating her and Kanye were cordial again. Now this is when it gets really messy. Kanye debuted a song from his Life of Pablo album during his Yeezy show. His infamous line from his song Famous caught the attention of many people. He received a bit of backlash for the lyrics where he states, "I feel like me and Taylor might still have sex. Why? I made that be famous." After people caught this, he explained on Twitter how Taylor actually gave him permission to use this line about her. A lot of her celebrity friends were pretty upset and spoke in defense of her. Her friends like Gigi Hadid, Jamie King, and Selena Gomez, they all came to her defense. Her brother even posted a video of him trashing his Yeezys. So during the Grammy Awards of 2016, Taylor finds an opportunity to speak up for herself during her acceptance speech. Fast forward to June of 2016, Kim Kardashian, the wife of Kanye, defended her husband, claiming that Taylor knew all along that he was going to use those lyrics. She claims that Taylor had approved it and that she was trying to act innocent once it came out. Totally knew that that was coming out. She wanted to all of a sudden act like she didn't. "I swear my husband gets so much for things when he really was doing proper protocol and even called to get it approved. Taylor gets a spokesperson to release a statement defending herself against Kim's claims. Basically, she said that she had only spoken to Kanye once while she was on her family vacation, and they haven't spoken since. She never denied the conversation happened, but she was saying that wasn't what they discussed. Some other events happened in the meantime, like Kanye featuring a fake but very realistic looking Taylor Swift sculpture in his video. And Kim basically explains on her reality TV show why she defended her husband. She claims how she isn't going to let people mistreat her husband anymore, and that Taylor even helped rewrite some of the lyrics for Kanye. In summary, she has her husband's back and wants everyone to stop punishing him for that MTV moment. Now, this is when the internet went crazy that year. Kim leaks video footage of Kanye's phone call with Taylor. She leaked all of the clips on her Snapchat and it went public, which drove fans crazy. Hashtag Kim Exposed Taylor Party was trending like crazy, and everyone was spamming Taylor's comments with a snake emoji because they were calling her a liar. Taylor posted this on Instagram, which I'll briefly read because it's pretty long. Pause if you want to read the whole thing. Where's the video of Kanye telling me he was going to call me that B in his song? It doesn't exist because it never happened. You don't get to control someone's emotional response to being called that B in front of the entire world. While I wanted to be supportive of Kanye on the phone call, you cannot approve a song you haven't heard. Being falsely painted as a liar when I was never given the full story or played any part of the song is character assassination. This caused a war between so many celebrities in Hollywood. It was like an Avengers moment for some of these people. Lots of Taylor's squad friends came to her defense, like Selena Gomez, Chloe Grace Moretz, Ruby Rose. And then we had Khloe Kardashian taking digs at the other Khloe. It was a pretty big mess. Like, everybody was against each other and just taking digs at each other. Everyone was jumping into the situation trying to defend one of the parties, and some of them were just making it worse. Lots of going back and forth on social media for these celebrities. Kanye celebrates this moment as a victory, and he lets people know that he is not a liar and he's not to be messed with. A month later, he clarifies that he is not trying to sabotage Taylor or her career. He has a great amount of respect and love for her and wants everyone to know that there's no bad blood between them. He simply was tired of this feud that the media glorified over the past decade. A couple months later, a more controversial version of Famous was released, and it was stirring up more conversation about the situation. The lyrics read, "I feel like Taylor Swift still owe me sex. I made that famous." People were saying it was shady that Kim only posted 3 minutes of that hour-long conversation, and that the clips were edited to make Kanye look like the victim. It cleared up a lot of questions that fans had and kind of put the feud to rest for a bit. Taylor releases her 6th album, Reputation, in 2017, where she has a couple of songs that takes digs at Kanye. She basically writes about how she thought she could forgive him and he went and stabbed her in the back while shaking her hand anyways. This album was her comeback after the huge scandal and almost altered both of their careers. Fast forward to 2019, a couple of years have gone by, and that has probably given both artists some time to come to their senses. The beef has simmered down, and it doesn't seem like there are any problems between the two anymore. We have Kim clarifying in an interview that there's no bad blood.
I think the feud is on or gone. Kim, you and Taylor Swift, still a beef with Taylor after all that went down? No, squash. Over it. Good. And have you two had any communication, or you just feel like we've all moved on?
No, I feel like we've all moved on.
And we have Taylor laughing off the feud in the interviews as well. It doesn't seem like they really care anymore because both of them are kind of profited off the scandal anyways. Both released albums with shots thrown at each other, so it kind of benefited them in a way. Taylor briefly mentions the Kanye situation during her battle with Scooter Braun in 2019. That's a whole other beef that stems extremely deep, so I'm not going to get into it in this video. She later shares her side of the story and claims that her problem was with Kanye calling her a B. She never denied a phone call or had a problem with the lyrics, but she only requested he not call her a B, so she claims she wasn't aware of that part of the song. Had she had known, she would have declined that part and not given Kanye approval. In 2020, the entire phone call was leaked and exposed both Kanye and Taylor. He basically asked her for permission to use the sleeping with Taylor line and wanted her approval in case it crossed any boundaries. She states that she was never aware that he said the lines, "I made that B famous." A little more going back and forth, Kim decides to release one final tweet saying her issue was with Taylor denying the phone call and not the use of the B word. So I believe that this was the closing moment of their feud, or the most recent from what I know. We don't know if their history is going to reignite again because Kanye is kind of going on a frenzy right now and no one is safe from his opinion. So we'll definitely see. He's kind of doing his own thing and dealing with something else, so I'm pretty sure that's the last thing on his mind. But finally, Kanye and Taylor have put this decade-long feud to a rest. It began in 2009, but it will go down in pop culture history as one of the most iconic and pivotal moments ever. It was a defining moment for award shows, and there were more moments in television that followed behind this feud, but I don't think they're nearly as iconic or memorable. Besides the Will Smith incident, Kanye vs. Taylor has shaped pop culture in such an impactful way because it provided inspiration for both artists and they both used their music as a creative outlet to express their side. It was like a never-ending story that the whole world wanted to tune into, and it just wouldn't end. But guess what? We were entertained by it and we consumed all of the music, projects, the scandals that had derived from this feud. I will say the iconic VMAs moment has brought us some great music from both sides. Both are huge artists in the music industry with very smart tactics to get our attention. Overall, I do hope that both of them have settled their differences and can at least work toward developing a friendship again in the future. That's it for today's video. Let me know what you think down below, and let me know if you were Team Kanye or Team Taylor during the situation, or you just didn't care at all.